That's a good question. I've been debating for a long time if I should follow a traditional route, which would be to go to an agent and for the agent then to get a contact with a publisher. But I've really, prior experience working with academic presses, I've gotten, while I really appreciate the professionalism of academic presses, which are similar to traditional publishing houses for commercial products, I've also felt frustrated by the lack of control, by not being able to really see the product that I've spent a lot of time on all the way through the way I might have envisioned it. Because of course they have their vision and their marketing and their needs. So that gave me a basis for thinking about some of the advantages of independent publishing, and I would really like to talk about 4 of those now. And the first for me was turnaround time. If I spend 2 years working on a novel, I would really like to have it out. I don't want to wait another 2 years in order to launch it, to have it on the bookshelves. And in traditional publishing, that's often the case because, of course, as I said, you have to get the agent, you have to get the publisher, and assuming they accept it, it takes that much longer to get out. So turnaround time is big. Another reason for me is that traditional publishing houses often have their own agenda, their own preferences. They may not like the kind of literature you're writing, or they may not feel it's going to be marketable. So you have many stories of people who've become very successful as independent writers, independent publishers, who were turned down for years and years. And there's a real readership for them, but they were never able to reach the readership until they went independent. So that's a consideration, I think, especially for women writers, because we know from academic studies that women writers are sometimes discounted by traditional presses in the meaning of their work. The third reason, and this is kind of quirky, is I think that independent publishing is more environmentally friendly. I think what you often have with traditional houses publishing lots and lots of books, sending to the bookstores, they don't sell, they end up in a warehouse, they end up in a landfill. And that is not a problem with independent publishing where it's print on demand. The reader gets it. That's the first time it's actually published. And finally, I confess to being a perfectionist. I like having control over the details, not just the writing, the publishing, the proofreading. I like having input on the cover design. I like designing, determining the marketing strategy, the price, all those sorts of things, the date, launch date, those sorts of things I like to have control over. And I'm fortunate because I have life experience and work experience in editing and writing and photography. And I have some very good friends who even have more experiences than I do that have really benefited me in the writing process and now in the marketing and the production process. So this has been a real wonderful experience. And I think that really, for me, is ultimately the real benefit of independent publishing, that the writing process is very solitary. But when you're working in independent publishing, it really is collaborative. And that's exciting to be able to work with so many talented people.